Hi, welcome to Coffee with Kim. I am Kim Bassett, your host of Coffee with Kim. Today's episode is going to be a little different than what you normally have seen. You know, here at Coffee with Kim, we do three things. We bring positivity, we bring inspiration, and we bring education. Well, today you are going to be inspired. You're going to be educated in a space that we've been hearing a lot in the news, and that is on stocks. So I am going, if you are someone who has been looking at stocks, if you've been invested, if you are losing in stocks, today is the show for you. Today on Coffee with Kim, we will be talking with Damon Stephens, coming to us from Phoenix, Arizona. Damon is a husband and father of four, entrepreneur, corporate strategist, founder of 6 companies, and author of 2 books. He has advised companies nationwide for over 25 years. With his background in technology, finance, real estate, investments, and retail sales, Damon's experience and passion for helping individuals and companies grow their business makes Damon the perfect partner. Damon, welcome to Coffee with Kim. All right.
Hey, thanks for that great introduction.
You're welcome. So everyone, Damon Stephens, if you're on social media with me, you might see a name that's a little bit similar. Damon is my brother.
Well, at least you have a different last name, so.
I know, right?
Yeah.
No, I have been trying to get him to do this for months now, guys. I wanted him to be one of my very first people to be on, and I could not be more excited. You know, Damon and I do a lot together. We have a business together and things, but I want you to get to know him. So he is going to share with you his story.
Well, you already saw my big family, so you got that down. But I really, I was going to be a chiropractor at one point, but somebody namely Kim changed my mind on that. So I got into IT, was in IT for 25 years, finished out as a CIO for a large construction company. Spent most of my life just in technology and learned to love it and see the advantages of it. And then my son, when he was going through high school, he said, "Hey, Dad, I want to start my own business and sell T-shirts." And I got a design and a logo, so we created a Shopify account for him. And I guess that's kind of where, entrepreneurship was always in our blood, Kim, growing up with our dad.
Well, I'm going to show you something that I did here that I have not shown him.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, I did. So if he brings up the fact that entrepreneurship came from our family growing up, I had to at least show a picture of us. So who is that?
Oh, yeah, that's us with our dad. Now, fishing wasn't his entrepreneurship. That was not his business, but
no, it was not.
It was a great picture of us when we were little, and showed our passion our dad had for fishing and for other things. But one thing that he did is he had a passion for business, and he always wanted to work for himself. He did work as a school teacher for 30 years, but he always had a business on the side because that was his passionate and his hobby. And we benefited from it. We had an arcade growing up, a couple arcades.
Well, it even started out before that, though, Damon. When I was like the size of that little person in that picture, yeah. I would literally hand him. He was in electronics and eventually computer teacher. He taught many different subjects. He was a brilliant man, a brilliant mind, and he would literally do things out of his garage. He would fix radios. He would fix TVs. Back when we had like the little TV tubes, I would hand those to him out of the boxes.
Yeah, that's true. I forget about that. And he had that little ring that he'd move around the TV to reset it. But that kind of ages us a little bit, Kim. So, that's probably not a good story to share.
I'm okay. I'm embracing my age.
But yeah.
And I'm older than you. So, I mean, that's okay.
Yeah. I'm glad you made that clear. So electronics, obviously that was important to our dad, and computers. So when he heard I was going to be a chiropractor, he was not very happy. But I ended up being in computers with you, Kim, and we worked for software companies and multiple technology companies, and then I got into construction side, and that kind of grew into a side project that I did eventually when I was in technology, and that was I started fixing and flipping homes. And so I got into real estate, and so me and my wife did real estate, and our dad was there. He was my project manager, so he would go in and he would manage all the subcontractors we brought in, and so he loved that.
And I even helped with the floor one time.
That is true. That is true. So I mean, the whole family got involved. But real estate, great investment, great place to put money. One of the things, Kim, we have a business together, and maybe we'll get this later, but having multiple streams of revenue, multiple streams of earning money and storing money is so important today, especially
Really.
So,
and that's why I really wanted you to be on here. I've been after you because, stock trading, yeah, we run a good sized company together, but, stock trading has been kind of for as long as I can remember, has been your hobby. I mean, you've been involved in it for a long, long time.
Yeah. I mean, I remember my earlier days, when you're talking about how long we've been in this, I bought, I think it was 1998 when I was buying Apple stock at $11 a share. And it's split multiple times since then, and obviously I didn't keep it all. If I did, I was, I'd be a multimillionaire, just off of one stock. But, and I bought Amazon back when it was, $130 a share, and it's 3,000 now. So yeah, I mean, I've had a passion for stocks, love it, and 401k, all the typical investments, IRA accounts, I have 4 different accounts that I manage right now. And it's a lot of work, but I love it. And the market's been so good. I mean, if you look at the history of the market, I mean, obviously, at the end of the day, it ends up. And so as long as you in the right stocks and you're holding long term, definitely can pay off for you.
Yeah. So, the big push for me to get you on here too, my sons, invest, in a lot of different things. They even did that crypto thing and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of scary stuff that has been going on with the there's GameStop, and there's a bunch of other things that are going on in the stock market that's really kind of crazy that people don't have a lot of education in. And so I wanted to bring you on here because you have had some huge successes. People have started reaching out to you, asking for help, and you're like, okay, I'm just going to do a little side business on this now because you have so many people needing your time, and you have your fingers in so many different things, plus your family and things. But I want people to know that, you do have some, courses and books and different things that you're creating to kind of help with that. And because you've heard and have experienced with some of your family and stuff and friends, those that have not had the best of luck, and they've been listening sometimes to people that have really hurt them. So I kind of wanted you to kind of talk about that a little bit. I know we're shifting gears a little bit, but I wanted you to talk about that.
Well, it's an exciting time in history. We've got record number of new investors, and it used to be that you went to an institution to buy stock, but now anybody can get into it. I mean, I hear about kids that are in high school that are doing it.
Wow.
And they're using Robinhood, and they're going out and buying stocks. But a lot of these young investors, or these ones that are new, they don't know what they're doing. They're just listening to whoever they find, or they get on like Reddit with this GameStop, like you had mentioned. I read a post a while back of one of the kids that was on that original Reddit when the stock was running up to $300 a share, and then over that, and he took all his money from his student loan. It was $18,000, and he said he stuck it in GameStop. He's like, diamond hands, which means high risk. I'm staying in for the long run. I don't care what happens. And he lost all that money for school. He lost all $18,000. So now he's got to not only come up with $18,000, he's got to pay for his schooling and his living expenses, and he doesn't know what he's going to do. And so, I mean, it can catch you. And then, there's an investor a while back that, I won't talk about the details, but basically he over leveraged himself, and he came down and he had a loss of $700,000, and he was a young guy.
Oh,
and know
wow.
what he was going to do to get out of that. And so, these investors are getting in there. It's exciting. It's fun. I mean, second to probably gambling, if you're like, you don't know what you're doing. I mean, it's a lot of fun to get in there, and you might win, you might lose. But at the end of the day, the house wins if you don't know what you're doing. And
So what are the top 3 things that people, they don't do or need to do, or,
So a lot of times, the things that they don't do is they don't get an education. They just go in and start trading without knowing what they're doing. And they listen to the forums, and there's a lot of good information out there, a lot of bad information. I mean, when I was an early investor, I invested some money into some teachers to teach me how. And one of those investors just took advantage of all of his students. So he'd go buy the stock, tell you to go buy the stock that he already bought, and it was already ramped, it's already going up, and then it'd go up, and then he would sell it, and then he would let you know later, hey, you need to sell that stock, and then you sell it at a loss. And
wow.
so a lot of people are losing money, and I was like, I was so angry. I was like, that is not a teacher. That is not the way that you teach people to invest. That's very selfish. And so that was a bad experience that I had. And then others just say, hey, this is a good stock, go get it. And they don't do any analysis or understand what it is. Or people throw money in just on hearsay. And so you talk about top 3 things people need to know. One, they just need to get education. I mean, one of the things, when I saw the pain that people were going through, and this one gal that reached out to me who said that she lost her account 3 times following other people's advice. And I'm like, well, what do you know about trading? She says, I don't. I open an account, I put all my money in there, and they tell me what to go buy. They tell me what they're buying, I go buy it.
So how do they know who? So what are the things that, I guess, and this is another layer of question. How do they know? How do you know who to trust and who not to trust? What are your things to watch for?
Well, I guess the first thing to watch for is, are they just giving you what they buy or sell, or they're just giving advice, but you don't know if they're actually in it. And so that's the first thing, is to know, to find somebody. If you're trying to follow somebody, great that they give you a stock, but do they offer a piece of education with it? Are they going to educate you? If they're not going to offer you an education in stock, or tell you do not trade, paper trade, which means use fake money to trade stock first before you put your own money into it, you're in the wrong place. You should trade. I mean, almost every broker firm gives you free training and a free stock portfolio that you can. They give you like TD Ameritrade gives you $100,000 in paper money. It's not real money; it's paper money, and you can go buy and sell stock like you were like anybody else on the stock market. But if you lose all the money, the $100,000, you're not out any personal money. Wow. But if you grow it and you're doing well with it, and you understand what you're doing, and you're seeing that money grow, now that's giving you the indicator that, hey, I think I'm ready to go ahead and start trading. And so, finding the right person that's going to provide education, finding, somebody where you can paper trade first and not use your own money. And then third of all, is you've got to understand something, at least a minimum, about charting. And everybody hates charts and graphs and lines and everything else, but you've got to. I mean, this girl that I trained just reached out to me and said, hey, can you teach me, because I'm losing my money, and I know you're good at it, so can you teach me? So I'm starting to put together a course now to help teach others based off of what I taught her. But I worked with her first and said, hey, you can't use your own money. Let's use a paper account. Let's get you set up. Let's go ahead and start trading and show you how it works. And you got to look at charts. And I say, how are you doing? She's like, I lost $30,000 on the paper account. I'm like, what did you do? I said, did you go look at the chart first before you bought the stock that you were interested in? No. I said, do you know which direction it was going before you bought it? No. Somebody said on the account, on my little text message, that I should buy this stock, so I did it. I'm like, okay, you're doing the bad habits. These are bad habits. You got to go back.
It's the same thing that lost her the first time, right?
Yes. I was like, you got to not look at them anymore. Let's talk through. Let's find a stock for the week. Look at it, when you should get in, when you should get out, and then let's go ahead and practice it. And I had to do that over a series of a month before she finally started practicing it. And then she said, all right, I think I'm ready. I'm positive on my account finally. And so she started trading, and she got into a stock and she was holding it and she was looking at the charts every day at the end of the day after she got off work, and it was going the right direction. And then at the end of the week, she's like, okay, I'm up $120. She says, I said, have you ever done that before? She said, yes, but then I lose it all. I'm like, okay, well, let's just stick with your money. Just continue looking at the charts. And I went through and reviewed the charts again for her. And then next week, she's like, I'm up 180. She says, this is working. And then the market was turning, and I sent a text message because the market was changing direction. I said, hey, are you managing your stock? Because, I know we haven't talked to the rest of this week, but I think it's going to change. Are you getting out? She said, I'm already out. I collected my profits. I got $210. And yes, she has a very small account, but $210 to her was huge. And she did it on her own, which is education. And so I was really proud of her. And I'm like, okay, you just got to stick to it. And so, periodically I'll reach out to her because I don't really have like a full program up and running now. I'm building one right now. But once we have that up and running, she says, I want in there because I know I need more education. And every once in a while she'll text me, say, hey, can you give me a tip on this? Or do you have an idea what I should look for this? But she's happy and she's not losing her account anymore. And she's looking at charts, which she absolutely hates. I hated looking at charts too.
Okay. So I know you and I are a little bit different brained, right? You are like Mr. Techo guy, but those charts behind you, I would be intimidated. It would make me not want to do it. I would be overwhelmed.
So if you're looking at the screens behind me, that's after years of using them. So when I work with Chris, when I work with this gal, I gave her a simple chart. It has a couple lines on it, and it's not as aggressive. I mean, I can trade within a matter of seconds, hours, days, years, months, whatever. For her, I didn't want her to do that because it does require a lot more complex charts or a lot more additional details. So I said, okay, here's 2 lines. When it goes above the lines, you can buy. When it starts to go below the lines, you sell.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you make it pretty easy then.
So she's like, I think I got that. Above the lines, I buy, and below the lines, I sell. And so that's what she was using for her technique, and it's working for her. She says, yeah, but I miss a lot of money. Like I see it move a long ways before it goes across the lines. I'm like, I know, but aren't you safe? She's like, yeah, but I'd love to just go get that money. And so that's one of the things that we talk about that I'm putting in this course is something around emotional assessment. I'm putting an assessment actually it's in my book right now. So if you go get my book, which I helped create for this girl that I worked with, it has an assessment in it, an emotional assessment, because if you can't control your emotions as an investor, as a stock trader, or even in business, you make mistakes. Yeah. And big mistakes. So understanding yourself and understanding your emotions are so important to being successful.
Wow.
In every aspect of your life. And it's hard because we're emotional creatures.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. But I say control, but it's basically knowing how to respond, right?
Yeah.
And not react.
And it's very hard when money's involved or family's involved or business, right, is involved.
Oh my gosh. We get comments all the time about that, right? How could you be in business, with family? And I have to say, I'm pretty proud of what we've done, right?
Well, the thing that makes it successful is we've had conversation, right? We communicate. Here's my strengths and my weaknesses. Here's my strengths and weaknesses. How do we complement those? And so for you, you're a great connector. You're great at that sales, and I'm more at the technical part of it and the operational side. And so, we cross each other's paths in those areas, but we leverage each other's strengths for the benefit of the business and our customers.
Yeah, absolutely. Samantha, we did. I love it when we get comments. Samantha is someone that's been in some of our mentoring groups, and I know she is an investor. So I know there was a couple people that were like super excited about the topic today.
Good.
So good. Yeah. So if you guys have any questions, oh my goodness, yeah. Okay. All right. What else?
So I guess, one of the things, is you mentioned at the beginning, and, I don't know if I'm getting this too early, is my books. So I have two books. One is customer centric, how to keep your customers, right? And the other one is stock investing. And so I know we have a variety of audience, and so that's why I kind of wanted to offer both those books up today, because really the stock investing helps you to understand how to invest, and not only invest in stocks, but also investing in yourself, right? In yourself and personal development. And that kind of leads also into the customer service side of things in the other book, right? And that's more focused around our business. But I mean, if you look at our customers, what brings success, to you in your business? It's how you treat your customers, how you know your customers, and making sure that you understand their needs. And as you understand more about them, then you're gonna, and I guess that's where entrepreneurship comes from, right? Why do you want to be an entrepreneur? Because you like to fix problems, right? At least for me, I like to solve a problem. This is a problem. Stock exchange trading was a problem for somebody, and I wanted to solve it for somebody, and now it's evolving into something else. We wanted to get in this print promotional business, right, and grow it, and have a chance to, help small businesses grow and develop, as well as large businesses, to have the tools and the things they need. And I was thinking about it before we met. We think about why do we have the customers we have when online you can find anything you want? Why do they come to us?
The relationship, the service they get,
and the service, right? They come to us because they don't want to have to worry about what they need, right? If they have
so many other, it's like us. We have so many things that we are doing, right? We have people that do things for us, correct?
Yeah. You can't do it all, especially if you're or a small business owner, right? A lot of things you're like wearing multiple hats all the time, switching hats, and it can be very overwhelming. And so having that emotional balance, right? Having people, surrounding yourself with great people who can help you to get the job done, focusing on your strengths, and really making sure that you understand your customer and making sure that you're solving problems for them every day. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, it is. And it's that follow through, right? I think that's the hardest thing for any of us. And I think it's the biggest key to success, or one of them, is that follow through. Because without that, they don't know how much you can do for them, or unless you know how much you care, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's very important.
Yeah, sure is. Yeah. All right. Any other tips that you want to give people? So you got the emotional stuff, you have the charting stuff. What else? Was there anything else that I missed?
Well, I got over 20 years in stock experience, so dumping all that out would be.
I know.
So it's gonna be better for them to go to my website. I'll if you go to
here, I'll get the banners going here.
Got a banner?
Yeah.
All right.
So for your free gift, you go to invested@finwealthlive.com. You can get a copy of his book, Keep Your Customers for Life. I think he might have a few other gifts there for you. Also on his name there, it says invested@finwealthlive.com. If you have any other questions, you want to connect with him on that. One of the things that I also know about Damon is his love for helping small business. We were at a seminar once, and there was a young man who, we both worked with, and he ended up leaving that seminar. We were all watching, and learning from other people, but because of Damon's connection, right, he kind of got him started in a business. And so Damon has, a wealth of knowledge, being a CIO for, a $2 billion company. He has experience in many different ways. So you just want to reach out to Damon. I would highly recommend it. And it's not just because of the relation there, but I'm really proud, of you, and of, us of what we've created. And you
Yeah.
are, I wouldn't want to do it with anyone else.
Yeah, it's great. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, is there anything else before I close this out here? Anything else you can think of?
No,
All right.
if you have questions, let me know. But the book will set you up with the foundation of what you need to start investing successfully. So if you're interested in that, definitely. If you want the other book, the Keep Customers for Life, I'll send that out to you as well. If you have questions, just email me the questions, and we'll connect there.
Awesome. All right. Well, everyone, thank you so much for attending this episode of Coffee with Kim. Stock is something that I haven't gotten into. But, the more I watch Damon and the success that he has had with his customers, with the people that he's and his clients, I would definitely recommend. I know the success that he has had. So have a wonderful day, everyone. And thank you for being with Coffee with Kim.